All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Who's here? All right. We've got a few. Oh. And guess what? It's absolutely freezing again. Hi, Stelly. Morning, Scott. Good morning, Tim, everyone, and all very loud. Right. Fair enough, Graham. Right. Oh, hey. Well, it's good to see everybody here. Just have my coffee, gather my thoughts. Still building this template. So I'm trying to think, right, what did I say I was going to do? Yes, we're just going to have a look at kind of just adding a little bit of something into this template that's going to make me sound like a bit more different. That's what we're going to try and do. We're going to add some kind of crazy stuff in and see what happens. Well, just my usual go-tos anyway, and how I set them up. Hi Zed, how you doing? All right, let's have a look. And where's the thing? Oh, there we go. Right. Add a little bit of a thing. Was that so I was playing over this and my guitar was sounding like really rubbish, and it was actually that texture. Alright, so I'm going to create another 2 channels. Interest and vocal stabs. This is what I always do. I used to go for vocals. Vocal stabs. And what was the other one? Vocal stabs. Just actually vocal stabs will do. Fuck. Could have just vocals in as well. Alright, I'll just colour those in. Not sure about the colour scheme on this. Oh. Okay, that's smaller. Right, so, and, any questions, do ask. I'm keeping an eye on the chat, try not to ignore everybody. So, go-tos for this, so for stabs, it's got to be, Exhale. Absolutely love this. Actually, I got the indie pack for it the other day. It was on offer, so I thought, all right, yeah, I'll get that. And wonderful it is. So I think we're in B minor. And just dead easy to use. Just got to grab something and start messing about with it. Of course, it helps if you have it on the right channel. Oh, that's good. And now we've got a bit of interest going. Let's extend this a few bars. So for the bass, I did this LFO thing could work. Let's get that on there. There's another upgrade. Get things moving a bit. All I'll have to do is I'll have to group. Yeah, just get a bit of movement into it. And then interest. So it's always arcade for interest, which I absolutely love. Sometimes I feel guilty using it. But let's give it a go. So here's something new we can have a look at. So something like that would be brilliant. And would probably just fit in quite nice. Very good. Of course, clean things up a bit with a filter. Take a bit of that hissiness off. Dead handy having the filters there, actually, really good. So we'll get a bit of groove on these hi-hats. So that sounds like. There we go. And of course, to add to the template, which might help things, is to add a groove to it. So I can open. Like normally you can just open it here. So an interesting way to do grooves, though, is you can create your own. Let's have a look at that. So if I do, for example, if I just look at these 16ths here, I can get these two. Just move them back a bit. Just slightly take them off the grid, and then the snares we can move slightly forward. Delete these here. If you can hear. Oops. Switch off. Very swingy. And that kick will be there. So that kind of gets your head moving a bit more, doesn't it? And then we can just extract grooves, and there it is. And drop that on the bass now. So let's see how it sounds on the bass and the ARP, because that's a bit better. It's slight. It's quite a straight beat though, isn't it? But oh hey, here we go. Sean, hello. How's it going? Pine Gap's on here. Wow. Hi, Pine Gap. Right, Pine Gap is a wicked band. Now, Pine Gap, you got to hear his right. So he's got another track out. So you've got to check it out. It's called Zombie Nation. Pine Gap, have you got the link? So yeah, Pine Gap, if you've got the link to the where the track is, everybody needs to hear this. And can I tell them the story? That's the other thing. Because this is a great example. Excellent. Right. So it's a wicked tune, and what I like about it is the thing about Pine Gap, right, is he is extremely resourceful in his music making, okay, and it has to be heard to be believed. So it is somebody who, like, have been coaching and coach still, and it's just been absolutely amazing watching this guy grow. It's incredible what's happened. And I just love this track, and I like the Monkey Mind track he's got as well. It's just it's all about having a party, isn't it? When you hear stuff like that, it's like super entertaining and really kind of thinking outside of the box. Like the vocals and everything are just so like quirky. It's cool. But I don't want to spoil it. You'll have to hear it. Hi, Ice King. Just got back from a wedding in New York City. Brilliant. Glad you're on here. New comment. Yeah. So so Pine Gap. What you got to remember is these tracks are made by somebody who's never really made music from start to finish or wrote a song, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, it was Pine Gap was gonna be doing guitar instrumental music, and then suddenly decided that he would like write vocals and sing, and things really took off, and this just whole other voice and narrative and story has unfolded. It's a great example because the branding and the image is very clear, the quirkiness is very consistent, and the ideas are very consistent as well. And I just think the one thing that a lot of music misses for me is the humour, right? It's got absolutely tons of character and it just doesn't care. And it's so refreshing. I mean, I love my band, McLaughlin and Hutch is brilliant, and live it's a party. But, if you really want to just go nuts, then, this is it. The link didn't show up for you. Oh, right, yeah, that's the point. The link didn't show. I wonder why. I don't think it's my fault, mind. But glad you're here. You made it. Right, hold on. Let's find some. Oh, I'll tell you what I did yesterday. I thought I had all of this organised. Obviously not. Not to worry. Anyway, can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, has anybody here ever tried to make any YouTube content? Because I was filming my first one yesterday. Jesus, it was hard. And it's absolutely brilliant, and I'll tell you why. So there I was, I've actually got like a YouTube content making machine now as well on Trello. So, yeah, I mean, all I had to do was that. Jesus, honestly, I was on. Well, I mean, it was probably an hour and a half just trying to sort myself out. It's just so weird. Like, when I'm on here, like now, especially after doing a month of those lectures, I feel dead comfortable. But then trying to get like an unself-conscious version of me now, it's really hard. Really hard. So I had to watch a few, because the intro video, like, it doesn't have to be a certain thing, but I've made it a certain thing, and maybe I didn't have to, and I think that was part of it. So, you know, this is my script. So it starts off, right? And I think it's just too corporate, you know. I think I have to just bin the script. So this is how I started, right? Because this is apparently what you do. Is anybody interested in this? Right. So this is the intro video, right, for all of the videos that will probably get buried at the bottom of the list and nobody will listen to watch anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it goes, want to make better music faster? Well, you're in the right place. Okay, and then we go into, so that's the hook, isn't it? That's the bit like, oh yeah, right, I want to make music. And then you need like the reassurance that, you know, the person that's talking to you is not a complete idiot. So then I go, hi, I'm Tim Hutch from the band McLaughlin and Hutch, an endorsed artist with Kiesel guitars, and our last album featured some incredible talents including Jordan Rudess, Angel Vivaldi and Michelangelo Badio. So there you go. I'm just going, right, you know, I'm not making this up. I've done something. So welcome to my channel, and I want you all to consider this as what I've been saying all along, to consider this as your go-to resource to help you make better music faster. Is this sounding all right, do you think? And then I go into sort of like, as a music coach, I'm interested in helping you solve your problems you're facing now with the skills you already have. By providing no-nonsense content that focuses on the why rather than the how. And I believe you can get closer to achieving your goals because you already have the skills to make great music, you can create music as good as anybody else, and you can show up and be creative under any circumstances. And then it goes, sound good, so hit the subscribe and get notified. So actually anybody here who hasn't been subscribing and notified, hit the subscribe. I don't know how to hit the subscribe button. And get notified. Latest content is up, and then you can also catch me on YouTube live sessions. Sign up for the mailing list, and if you like, join a coaching group. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. There you go. So that's all I had to do. God, it was hard. Because I shot it all. I came in from work, I was tired, and then I realised I wasn't smiling or anything on it, because you got to be like really happy, haven't you, on YouTube? You got to be like, do you want to make better music faster? Well, you're in the right place. Is that how I've got to be, do you think? That's more like it. Anyway, don't worry about me. Actually, Sean, was that right? Let's do the opening line. Right, what do you prefer? Do you prefer my normal kind of this, right? So do I do this? I'm not be holding a cup. Or maybe I'm holding a cup. I don't know, but then I'll have to hold it for like the full video, can't I? I'm not going to use puppets. It's not a comedy show. This is like serious music making, Stellian. I'm saving lives here, right? So there's like, oh God, I don't even know who I am. Right, here we go. So this is the first one. This is just like normal, right? What is normal? Oh yeah, my humour is, yeah, isn't it? Because it's like The Office. All right, here we go. Want to make better music faster? Well, you're in the right place. All right, let's do this again. Want to make better music faster? You're in the right place. Okay, which of those do you like? That's kind of the normal one. And then I can just go into like super happy. I don't know who I am. Pine Gap. After yesterday, I completely lost it. Want to make better music faster? Well, you're in the right place. Yes, I think you're right. I've ditched all that. I'm going to delete what I did, and I'm just going to be me. That's all I'm going to have to do. It's hard because you're meant to be. You got to sell yourself, haven't you? But I knew when I was doing it, when I was doing the YouTube tutorial, which you shouldn't do, because I couldn't find anything else decent. Remind me of some commercials I've seen. Yeah, it's like a commercial, isn't it? It is, isn't it? But then how else am I meant to do an intro? Than just, hi world, Tim Hutch here, from McLaughlin and Hutch. Yes, it did work for Mementos. Mementos are the ones you can put in a bottle of Coke and it explodes, isn't it? Is that right? I can't remember if it's let them. I can't let her do it because then, see, like if the missus does it, she'll be like really scary lecturer mode. Maybe go weird and very extreme. No, I think actually yesterday I eventually got it because at the end of the day, the only way to do it be casual, not too corporate. And I think what it is that it's really difficult. Like in all seriousness, it's really difficult to be casual when the structure of what you're saying is corporate. So in other words, the structure of this is, so people don't like switch off, right? Then I have to say what it is in the first second of it happening, isn't it? So do you want to make better music faster? Because remember, the channel's meant to be some sort of resource for people to use, right? So if you want to make music faster, then you're in the right place. But then I've got to let them know a little bit of who I am, haven't I? So you've got to do that, really. Yeah. We'll see how it comes across. I'm going to edit it anyway. I'm going to edit it and then I'll know. Because the only way to actually know is to do it, so I need to get through the entire process. It's the right tone and the words that make the corporate sound friendly. It's my job. Brilliant, Stallion. Right. So, I like this. Be casual, not too corporate. It's the right tone and the words that make the corporate. So, it's the right tone, Stallion. Is there? Sorry if this is boring everybody, right? But actually, it's quite... Oh, yeah. Right, yeah, Sean. Do you know who I am? Yeah. I'm the guitarist who eats lots of Twix as well. I've finished eating. I haven't eaten any for... I haven't eaten any Twixes for a while. Apart from one on the way home yesterday, down a back alley. But I'm nearly cured. What's up? Right. So, yeah, I mean, this is like, okay, because once I get rid of this ridiculous intro, right, like the interesting thing is it's easier after that because then you're just showing and demonstrating. Like, so there's a whole series of, so like one thing, right, for guitar playing that I think will be interesting is I've got a whole series of 3-1-3 pentatonic and scale stuff. So I don't think there's like that much stuff on YouTube about using 3-1-3 combinations of notes. So I'm going to do stuff on that and like how you can phrase of it and how you can go from 3-1-3 into 2 notes per string, 3 notes per string. So like, you know, using that and transitioning. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just, yeah, looking at the camera and being just normal, isn't it? It can be a very long discussion, can't it? But I think it's really interesting, isn't it? Like the different persona you have, like why? Like I'm quite comfortable sitting here talking to you guys now, but that yet when a script is out there and something is structured in a way, it becomes like awkward. Yet I have to get my point across in a certain amount of time, like being casual. And I think I know what those two variables are, which is a good sign. So it's actually just working out what it is. And I think the only way to do that at the minute is to just take the recording I have yesterday, edit it, see how it hangs together. And then once I get used to seeing myself and editing myself, I'll know what's wrong. And the other thing about that is there's a lot of stuff I'm going to learn by doing this because it's like music. Think about it, right? So this is why I'm not endlessly recording on the camera because it's like splurging, isn't it? When you're writing music, and I'm always going to people, right? Okay, just make music and have no judgment. It's difficult, isn't it? Especially when you're new to it. And this doing this and recording content, I'm basically new to. Okay. It's sort of recording shot. I mean, I'm not recording shot. It's just I've got the wrong persona. That's how I feel. But as I always say when we're splurging, you know, that we're not to be judgmental about what we're doing at the time. And I think that's part of it. I think just doing it and then moving on and edit and seeing what's there with a little bit of distance, you'll learn a lot about yourself. And then the data that you get from that will be much more reliable than just kind of responding on the data that you are at the time in front of a camera. However, I understand that like you don't have that luxury if you had a whole film crew around you. But it's something that we've definitely got now in the room with us. At this point, it's just me and the camera. Stay in the stream persona, yeah, and that's the thing I need to have. I think I have to have. It's my stream persona, Stellion. So I've got like it's the stream persona, but it just has to be. I just have to have some sort of structure to it, but without the structure, if you know what I mean. That's what it is. And I think, actually, a light bulb moment, if I just say what I'm saying without even looking at anything, okay, the way I would say it on a stream, maybe if I just rely on the editing, that'll put in the punch of it all. I think that might be the way to go. What do you think, Stellion? And the other interesting thing Stellion's saying here, it depends on who you are targeting. So the thing is obviously what I do is a very, very niche thing, isn't it? Because I think most of the sort of domestic music community out there like plugins and consumerism and buying stuff and playing stuff and but I think like my stuff's more for people who are not so much into that, but are into their internal skills, the inner game, that are wanting to, write music, get better at writing music, and understand that creative process, which is something outside of the external things that we get. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, just that that's my niche, and I think because it's not linked to like the latest shiny objects and things like that, it's not quite as sexy as it. But that's good, because what you got to remember is I've got a business built sort of around YouTube. YouTube isn't the business at all. What it's about is people going, oh, this is really helpful, I want to join a coaching group, or I want Tim to like coach me one-to-one, or that's what it's about primarily. And secondary to that, if I have the time, you can get a guitar lesson. But it's really the one thing that I can do for people, right, that's going to massively improve them, okay, beyond what they think is possible, and that's actually coaching them. Yeah, so the coaching thing, so... And I mean, Ice King, you know the sort of power of being coached in that kind of alternative educational route. I mean, I think, like with coaching, I think coaching should be in schools, I think there's a massive trick, like every child, okay, right through the career, university as well, they should have coaches available to them, because you need it, don't you? You need some way of just getting in a room with somebody and reflecting on what you're actually trying to do, and keeping you on course, and reminding you of what it is you're trying to do, and helping you work out your own route of how to get there. It's like school's a funny one, isn't it? Because, till you decide a career, there's no way to like specialize in anything. I mean, when I was a kid, the only way I could truly specialize in something would be not to be at school and to be playing guitar. But if you think for a minute, right, if school was, right, if you could do it this way, did I need all the time that there was there to learn maths and English? Because when I was sitting there was zero motivation to do anything apart from dream about music. But if I just went to school and they could accommodate it so far and just went, well, Hutch wants to do guitar for now, you could easily just give me a bit of guitar every day to do in a class, right? And then tell me that actually to get better, you're going to have to work on your maths a bit, and you're going to have to be able to be more clear in your communications and all this kind of stuff. And then I'll be like, oh, right, well, what do I need to do? And they'll say, well, you need to go see the maths tutor. And I'll be, right, I'm all in. So it's just a strange thing, isn't it? But the advantage of that is you're learning all of the skills outside of your discipline that support the skill that you're trying to do. And I think that's where things really come together. And the weird thing with me is, as soon as I left school, like in the UK, we have like a degree, so you do like 3 years, or if you're doing art, you'll do like 3 years in foundation. And you'll go on, if you want to continue, you can go on to a master's. And then after that, you can do a PhD. And basically, when I left school, when I decided to go to university, because I'd re-educated myself through music, it ended up that I was too advanced to go on a degree, and they had to put me on a funded, I had a scholarship to go on to a master's degree, which was amazing. And I did 2 of those. So I just skipped the degree and went straight onto the master's. And that was really because I didn't know about coaching, but I'd coached myself. I was so focused on being developed as a musician that I was re-educating myself in English and maths and all these things to support that one skill. So Stelly, I've learned English from movies and music. Brilliant. I'd have never guessed you have great command of the language. Thank you. I mean, the other interesting thing about me, which I do tell everybody, is that I have really bad dyslexia. I mean, I'm really bad. And it's that it can't, right. Oh, and I think part of that, well, I know that like having dyslexia at school kind of gave me some. So I wasn't like in my head like everybody else. There was separation. Luckily, I'd found music, and that was the thing I could focus on. And I realised that basically I'm not so great at all the other things, so I'm gonna just do music. And it just made me like focused on that one track. I mean, the only downside to it, like, you know, obviously that at any point, because at school I wasn't being 100% realistic about music. I thought that I would walk out into a record deal, and actually to some degree I did. But I thought I would walk into a mega career and earn loads of money and be on like 10 times what a doctor earns. And that didn't quite happen. I also thought I would have a girlfriend. That didn't happen either. And it was a number of years that I was in my single bed in my parents' house with my friends going, now, Tim, you're going to have to get a job and get realistic. And I was like, no, I'm just going to sit here. And I'm going to, because I was skill focused as well, which didn't help. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play 3 notes per string till I think I'm as good as Paul Gilbert. And then I'll focus on being like Jason Becker. So I was probably the best in my school at French. All right, okay. I was taking off languages. Learn Racer X songs. Yeah, well, I've never learned a song all the way through, really. But I'd learn. See, this is the thing I was saying. This I was doing some lessons the other day, and so Tim Henson. Have you seen the Tim Henson video of the liftoff solo? So I was intrigued by that, and I did actually buy the tablature, and I did analyse what was going on because I could hear there was obviously the framework of it, the structure of it, is all pentatonic scale, and I could also hear. There was something else outside of that pentatonic scale, and sure enough, there was the hexatonic sound. There was that ninth sound in there, but there was still something else, and obviously it was the other note of the major scale, sparingly used, but in a really clever way. And there was a lot of minor sixth in there, so that's in the key of B minor. So I thought I need to have a look at this, and especially does some really nice sort of descending runs, and they're really well phrased and placed and all this kind of thing. So I thought, I've got to have a look at that, So I did analyse that, and I can't remember why I was actually talking about Tim Henson's solo. But yes, it was about. So I didn't learn the solo all the way through, but there were aspects that I wanted to learn to use in my own playing. So I wanted to know how he was phrasing round the minor sixth, because usually that minor sixth, right? Because I go about and sort of other players going, oh, it's a dead note, it's like the avoid note, right? But you don't have to. That's not true, right? It's what I'm saying is you just got to be careful with it, but avoid it for now. But you can make phrases where it'll always work and just sound good. You can use it as a passing tone. So that's what I was interested in. How do I use the minor? So the problem I had was, how do I use the minor sixth without sounding like a noob? Okay, and the conclusion is that you can use the minor sixth if you're landing on it as a note. Then as long as it's on a chord tone, it's fine. Other than that, it's a passing note. So this is the kind of thing. This is how I learn a solo. Okay, so when I'm improvising, I can just think of that. I can identify where that minor sixth is, and I can deploy it in a way that's going to sound good. So that was one. And you can think, right, rather than learning the whole solo, by learning that information, okay, just by me telling you now how to manage that minor sixth, that's going to really help you, because, you can get all excited after the stream, grab a guitar, right, and a backing track. And, so if you're in E minor, the minor sixth is C, so your objective is to think of pentatonic scales, but then think about how you can phrase around that minor sixth without it sounding terrible. And the clue to that is use it as a passing note first. Or if it's on a chord like C, then you could probably use it, then it'll be fine. And then the ninth, we know the ninth just sounds like really cool and neo-soul, and it's the sound of, that modern, it just reminds me of modern rock guitar players in LA having a nice time driving about in Lamborghinis. That's That's what it is. That note is it's the dream note, isn't it? So yeah, there were whatever interesting things. There was some nice little uses of how he used the blues note. I thought that was nice, and also like just analysing the general technique. Well, the ninth is, I suppose, it's like cheesy jazz land in a way. I wouldn't say it's jazz. I mean, like when we're getting onto jazz, I mean that's because that's the other thing is he does use a bit of chromaticism as well. So that's definitely, if you were to say, oh well, that's a jazz influence, I would say it's like a soul. The majority is a soul influence, but then when we start adding real sort of outside notes to that, then we're going into sort of jazz in a way. It's that idea. It's the first sort of hack side to jazz. There's no real serious theory behind it, you know, because what you're doing is like if you're thinking of the ninth. I'm meant to be doing templates on it today, but we'll do this. So if you're thinking of the ninth, which is well, we're in B minor, aren't we? Right, we'll see if that works. Right, I don't know if I'm in tune or not. So here's the ninth. Well, we can start sliding up to it chromatically. So that would be like some of the ideas that you can get. And so when I start adding like lots of chromatic notes, all I'm doing is like stacking up as many notes as I can get on my fingers and falling or ascending up to the note that I want to hit. So if it's a 2-note one, I'm sliding up to it. And actually that's in the Tim Henson solo, that very sort of, he plays it like that, or you could slide up to it. Or you could go, there's another one. Oops, see I'm on the -6 there. So that one's quite difficult to control, but generally the ones I do are sliding up, sliding down, and then 4 notes. And then another thing about chromaticism is if you play it slower, yeah, it's very fusion, is like I really like trying to play it slowly and trying to get it to fit melodically. And I find that really helps as well. Because it makes you think about the groove, and if the groove's right, you can play anything, can't you? And it'll sound sort of reasonable. So that's kind of getting there, isn't it? Obviously, hands are totally not warmed up today. It's very emotional. Interesting. Right, yeah, so so I think one of the interesting things about it is it's another aspect of tension and release in your playing. So you're using notes that are very close in harmony, aren't you, when you're doing something chromatic, and then you can open it up into something more like wider interval. So So like I could do something pentatonic-y. And then kind of close it in chromatically. Like something like that, maybe. So yeah, just open it up, and I suppose it sounds like a little Alan Holds a fish. Oops, on the avoid note. Something like that. Anyway, back to the template, because we've got like a little bit of time left there. So I was digressing there. That was a good chat though, talking about my YouTube content. Very good. Right, is everybody still here? Okay. So, right, exhale, bit of X Factor from that. So we've got like a bit of... And then, a bit of interest. Now there's a great free plugin called, let's see if I can find it, Audio Modern Gate Lab. Stick this at the end of the chain, and then we can get some gating going. So this plugin's free. These plugins are free. It's well good. Okay, so we could have this up to 30-second notes. Again, zero latency. So that's another sort of X Factor type idea. And then of course, when it comes to drums, there's a number of things that I particularly like on here. One is, obviously, I've got it already there, is the arcade for interest. So really sort of any percussion, but what you'll have probably noticed is I tend to go for the same thing on here. And that'll be this. And a good starting place is just to randomly grab anything. Not Screwy Grooves, because I've had that on a few times. Alien Rhythms. And another good sort of thing with this is you can just have something loaded in for one bar. And that's like kind of part of the template. So like when you're building a template as well, it kind of helps if you've got like a dummy demo track as well. And then you can just sort of and I'm just really looking for something So another thing for your template could be a, I'll put this in red, I'll tell you what, the mic can go into blonde, would be a record channel, and then have this set to resample. And then what that can allow you to do is, so these are just ideas here. So if I have this, I can just record it. Because on this, I don't like, because it means like I can record something from Arcade, and then I can edit it. You see, I like the dunk sort of sound here, but I'm not keen on anything else. So what I can do is I can go to clips, gain, and just draw it out. And let's see what that sounds like. And then we can have the do. No. Oh no. Right. Come out of that. Now just loop that one bar. So you could have, let's stick it in. And then, which would give us another channel here. We can call this loops. Or loop. And then we just stick our record channel in there, and we're all good to go. So that's quite a good tip. It's kind of just fitting everything in, isn't it? And not like, you know, completely burning your computer out. So yeah, setting a record channel up, very handy. And then other things you could add is high strings, something that's like followed me from forever with my house music and stuff. I'll see if I've got one in a template. Trying to think where there's a really good one. Oh, I know. Arturia. And it's the emulator. So I suppose like part of what I'm doing here though is I'm starting to limit the creative options because like I'm starting to put stuff in that's kind of very specific. Possibly something like that. High up might work. For 8 bars. We'll octave this, we'll get it really high, see what happens. Yeah. What time have we got? Oh, 27 minutes. Right, have we got any new comments? No. Right, so adding vocal stabs, adding vocals, high string, well, not so much a high strings, and percussion interest, and having actually a record channel set up are all things that will help you kind of find something unique. Obviously, we've got some amazing stuff. Now, there's Life, which is just like incredible, and I think I might do something with that tomorrow. The only reason I don't use Life is because it does add a bit of latency to the project. However, it's still good. You can use it offline. But it's when you put the recorder on, and it's like 1.5 milliseconds, 3 milliseconds, I think. But we'll try it out tomorrow. We'll see, you know. And the other thing is, you know, I've got all of this going here. And I suppose fundamentally it looks complicated, but if we start just grouping everything, which is another handy thing to do. I mean, if it's the other project where I use it for guitars live, which I love, that template, I tend not to group things, and there's a reason for that. And that's because I'm using my foot pedal to like whiz between the tracks, and I need to be able to go from bass all the way down through all the lead channels. And if I have a group, it kind of makes things a little bit more difficult. Plus, I don't need to hide anything. Like, one of the limitations is, oh, it's my phone, it's over the other side of the room. This is typical. Right, come on. Can I reach? Alright. Back. Right. What was I saying? So you're totally distracted. Oh yeah. So just by having things grouped, it just means it's a little bit easier when we get onto this arrange page, isn't it? And we can kind of fold things away. Like that. And then we can see what's going on. Pretty cool, eh? Quite like that drum beat there. Pretty cool. Anyway, okay, just listening, letting you do your thing. Sounds great. Really appreciate you sharing your process. Cool. Wednesday tomorrow it is. Yes, so I'll not be here tomorrow. Pine Gap, the eggs are ready. Cool. Yeah, stream. Oh, there's Des. Look, all right. Well, I'll stay an extra few minutes because Des is on here. All right, Des, how's it going? So just been doing a little bit of template building over the last few days. So Des, how's it going with you? I take it you've like this is your time when you get up, because I know you've changed your routine a little bit. But it's great to see you on here. Really good. Yeah, so basically we've got things grouped so they can all just neatly go fold away like that, and it's less daunting, isn't it? Less of a stress. I'm going to colour my bus in a different colour. Of black. There. I think it's just less distracting. Base can be... don't know what colour I want the base. Maybe that. Been going to bed earlier lately. Oh, well, that's good. So I've been going to bed a bit later, actually, hence the stream's been a bit later. Basically, because we're staying downstairs in the basement, we like it down here better. Which is great, because I like sleeping down here. It's brilliant being next to all your guitars and everything, and then just getting out of bed and then immediately just being in your creative space. But it's probably too much for some people. For me, I like it. I don't like to be separated. I think it's just been the case since a child. I've always, it's always been guitars in your room, and I've done everything in my room. All of my music making, everything. It's always been in my bedroom. I've always had a bed with me. So why stop now? I think I'd really like if it turned into a proper job, which it is. But if it was like, if I went on like how you would do with a normal business or something, like where you had a premises to go to, I would never go to it. I would really hate it. I mean, I'm sure I'd grow to like it because you'd have to overcome it, but it would just that whole thing of like turning up, and that's the space where you do this, and then doing your thing, and then it ending, and then you're going off and you're doing something else. I can't. I just like to be round gear, and then when inspiration hits, I can just basically jump on there and do something. Not that I wait for inspiration. And of course, Des, what have you been practicing lately? I have been practicing hammers only and chromatic things. I also analysed Tim Henson's solo Liftoff because I had a lot of interesting things. That's a true artist, thank you. Turning up and doing the work, that's it, but just not turning up to an office to do it. So I think it's time to go soon. So anybody else got any questions, anything? Are we okay doing a bit more template-y kind of stuff tomorrow? Because I might just do 2 more days on this. Recorded first song for the album. Brilliant. Excellent. So look forward to hearing that, Des. Oh, I'm saying tomorrow again. Sorry, Graham. Yes, of course. Right. So, no, tomorrow morning I'm coaching. It's YouTuber brain, isn't it? Tomorrow I am coaching because it's Wednesday. Thursday, back here in the morning, 6:15, and we'll do some more template stuff, okay? And maybe if everybody has a think about, what you've been through watching me making this template, and then if you've got any questions about your own template. And also, I'd like to hear kind of how you're building your own templates. I want to hear kind of what stuff you have loaded in, ready to go, that gives you, not that we need inspiration, but kind of gets you going and gets you motivated and excited. Because I must admit, when I build a template, I always get that initial kind of excitement. I want to try it out and do stuff with it. So, it's a good way to get a little bit of a creative boost as well, a little bit of motivation. It's like having a new studio, isn't it? The interesting thing about me is when it's come to, since having discovered the Beats Plus 3 and the wins, problems and opportunities that I've experienced doing the music that I have, I do end up with very similar templates, and I think that's a good thing. It means that the problems I'm having are definitely getting solved. Anyway, I'll just end on that thought, and I'll see everybody Thursday morning, okay? And I'll schedule it now. All right, bye.